Hey guys, so here for another vlog. Um, this one's okay. I I've had a bad diabetes week. For those who've been following along on Instagram, you would have seen I've had a couple of frustrations, a couple of scares this week, and it's kind of thrown me a little bit. But and okay, so on the weekend I was doing a run time trial. Um, So I've been working on trying to improve my run times just a little bit, not drastically, just shave little bits off here and there. And my goal for the weekend was to do a sub 2 hour half marathon. That was my aim. Um, I was on track for it. My splits were consistent. My splits were solids. They were consistent. But it was my level management wasn't the best. It was for a non running diabetic, it probably would have been perfect. Like I'd woken up, the number was a six. Started running, it was a 6.5. It was like it was freaking amazing. It was perfect. Everything was just running fine. But running, of course, burns glucose, and my body is like more suited to not burn glucose as quick. But it just, yeah, I ended up crashing down to about a two. So that kind of threw me off, and I had to pull the pin after 16 Ks. So that was really frustrating because, as I said, I was on track to get in like comfortably inside my 2 hour goal, like a good couple of minutes inside I was on track for. So very frustrating. Anyway, then tonight I've been off for a swim. I had a swim sets tonight, and the set we were doing was same. Actually, same master set that I did yesterday as well. Um, I didn't realize that until I got to the pool. I was like, I saw the set and I went, oh crap, oh fuck. He's like, oh crap, I know exactly what this set's gonna do. Anyway, um, and just it's one of the frustrating things about diabetes is that a decision you make 10, 12, 24 hours, you make now will have an impact and a consequence, 10, 12, 24 hours from now. And for me, it was just simply what I had for breakfast just wasn't enough. So I didn't have enough in my system. Again, levels were pretty much spot on. They were sitting in this. I was sitting at a six, with about a 1 unit still on board. I went, okay, well, I'm about to go exercise, so I had a gel before I started. Had one after the first set of intervals, and it was like fine, but I burnt too quick and ended up crashing really low, so low that it's always a problem. It's always bad when your own glucometer actually says, yeah, number below one does not register, therefore it's below one. Seek medical advice immediately. When you when your meter says that, something's not good. Anyway, so yeah, I had to pull the pin on the 2/3 of the way through the swim set. So yeah, that wasn't very good, and that's made me very frustrated. And so diabetics, we don't want people to feel sorry for us. We really don't. But at the same time, we struggle at times. Well, at least I know I do, because it's so frustrating that you get things working, you get things right, and then suddenly it all just goes pear shaped for no apparent reason. Today was sort of like, my food was right, my levels were fine. I pre took the glucose to make sure I wasn't going to have an issue during the set, and it still fell apart. So it's really frustrating, for that at the moment, and very annoying. And yes, so as I said, like diabetics, we don't want pity. We don't want, you feel sorry for us, but at the same time, we also get really frustrated. And the smallest things, like a short list of things that will affect my blood sugar is everything. And that can really be annoying for us. We're just trying to live the best life we can. Um, and it's just really frustrating trying to deal with a condition, especially a condition that is the general public don't seem to understand it, or maybe they don't want to understand it. I don't know, but I can't blame the media a lot for this, because, and really fundamentally, type 2 diabetes should not be called diabetes. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be. It should be called, I don't know, blurg disease or something. I don't know. I don't care. Call it something else, because every time you hear something about diabetes on the media, or people say, "Oh, you're a diabetic," it's like, everybody assumes that you're a type 2. Sorry, no. Type 1 is what I have. Type 1 is what a lot of people have, and it's genetic, which means we didn't choose this life. We didn't have a say in it. We were born with it. When it activates could be any time between, when you're an infant through to when you're an adult. But we are born with it. It's genetic. We don't have a goddamn choice. And that's sort of been another thing, another frustration for me at the moment. So at the moment, I'm potentially looking at the potential possibilities of perhaps moving to the US again. Something that I've looked into previously, because I almost did, and then I didn't think I was going to need it again, so I kind of forgot all about it. But potentially now it's a possibility. I might be moving to the US again. For at least for a period of time for work and other reasons. So I've been doing a bit of research again, and it's terrifying. The idea of being a type 1 diabetic in the United States of America is goddamn terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. I've got friends over there who are T1s, and I don't know how they do it. It boggles my mind. The fact that in 20 years, a vial of insulin, which is 10 mil, went from being $21 up to $260 for a single vial of insulin. It's not like this is cold and flu meds. It's not like this is, Panadol or Tylenol or whatever the hell they call it in the US. It's not like this is an option. If I don't take this, I die. End of conversation. No ifs, buts, maybes. I don't take insulin, I die. That's it. End of discussion, end of conversation. That's it. It's all over. And the idea that, that's how much a vial of insulin costs. Now, that vial of insulin now, I understand, I believe that's for a 10 mil vial. So to put that money in perspective, okay? So for me, as living in Australia at the moment, I think it's $50. It's either $50 or $70. I'd have to check receipts, but at $50 or $70, for that I get 5 by 5 by 3. So the vial here is the vial I get is the 3 mil vial. That $50, $70, whatever, will get me 25 3 mil vials. And yet, for one 10 mil vial, it costs $250. What the ever-loving hell is wrong with your country? This is, again, this is not something, and people are literally dying. There was a thing that came up, and I remember being a bit dubious about it when I saw it, but I've read into it because there's been more than one report of it now, where diabetics are literally dying. People with the same condition as me are literally dying in the US because they can't afford insulin and the needles and the test strips that we need to stay alive. What the hell? It just boggles my mind. I don't understand. And I was just watching. So for those. Anyone who's in Australia who's watching this, jump onto ABC iView, because there's a show called Planet America. If you haven't watched it, it's actually really interesting. And for everybody outside of Australia, I'm really sorry. Try and get yourself an Australian VPN and go onto the ABC's iView site and watch it, because it's fascinating. I encourage my American friends, my American viewers, American friends to do this if they can. Because it's really an eye-opening thing about insight into America and what the world thinks. Anyway, watching into this, so Yeah, this CEO of this company. So the prices I've just been quoting about insulin, that's for a vial of Humalog. Now, there's a type of insulin, and a type of insulin that I up until fairly recently, I was using. I now use NovaRapid. But the guy that's the CEO of that company has been in there for the entire process and led the price rise. He's literally price gouging people and killing people to line his bloody back pocket. What the hell? So question, mate. So question to the head of Lily. Question. Is it okay for you to charge a price that means that people die? Because you realize that your price gouging and your decision to charge that amount of money to the people of America is costing lives. I hope you sleep well at night. And I'm curious, what is your child a diabetic? And if your child gets diabetes, or your grandchild, or your you know, whatever in law, if your immediate family, if they get diabetes, you're going to make sure that they get the best care, aren't you? Something to think about, isn't it? And what happens if they can't afford it? So I hope you sleep well at night, mate. I hope you sleep well thinking about that, because that is disgusting. But I get the company's got to make money, but at the cost of human life? And people talk about like gun violence and gun rights. I'm sorry. Have a look a bit closer to home with simple medical care. That's terrifying. So sorry I'm going a bit of a rant here on this episode, but as I said, it's an issue as a type 1. It's a very serious thing. I kind of like the UK system where I don't have to pay for something that I need to stay alive. I like that system. You have to pay for things to make your life easier, but the actual things that you need to stay alive, you don't have to pay for. I like that idea. And yeah, anyway, sorry, rant kind of over. But yeah, it just boggles the mind that insulin in the US is so expensive. Like as it is, I'm wanting to get CGM, which is continuous glucose monitoring. I want to get that because I've had a few scares like tonight with my blood sugar suddenly going really, really low. That I would have had a bit more of an warning of if I had continuous monitoring. But even here in Australia, that's going to cost me. I pay $200 a month for my private health cover. The continuous glucose monitor. So I'm looking at getting a Dexcom G4. That is going to cost me $1,575. That's just for the reader. And then every 6 months, it's going to cost me another $540 to get a new transmitter. Every 4 weeks, it's going to cost me $300 every 4 weeks, and every 6 months, every another $500. So just the initial outlay is just shy of $1,600. Every month, I'll be forking out $300 for a new sensor, for a new actual the bit that sticks in me to actually read the insulin or read the glucose level. And then every 6 months, I've got to get the little bit that adapts, that sends it from the sensor back to the reader. My private health that I'm paying $200 a month for will give me $30 once when I get the initial reader. So the $1,600 that I lay out for the initial reader, I get a grand total of $30 back. Thanks guys, thanks. And that's the same with every single private health fund in Australia. That's all they'd ever offer me. They will not pay you. They will not even look at anything else. So it's that's just something I'm going to have to look at. So I'm sort of saying this because no healthcare system is perfect. But it does give you some perspective that the American system might seem to be broken in some things, but in other things it's not. So it's terrifying. Anyway, I'm just ranting and rambling on this one because that's how I get when I've had a really bad blood sugar low. And anyway, there you go. So anyway, I'm gonna go to get off my soapbox now and go trundle into bed because I have a long run. I'm gonna try and do my 20 kilometers again tomorrow. Probably just do the extra 1.1 just to make it up for the month, because otherwise I'm not going to do one for the month. And I guess I'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch you later. Bye.